focused on these 3 ways that we can get started with inclusive marketing.
Mhm.
So I would love for you to help us to walk through that. And if you can bring it to hotels, or I'll try to bring in some hotel examples as we go. How does that sound?
Sure. That sounds great. All right. So
Okay.
the first one is really focusing on your buyer personas. Common
Mm,
misconception about inclusive marketing is that it means you have to serve everybody. It does not. It's all about being intentional about who you will serve and who you will not. Every brand cannot and should not try to serve everyone. It is a goal that's just going to set you up for a lot of disappointment and the people that
This
you
is
want to serve as well.
this is a major wake-up call. Like, this alone kind of blew my mind.
Let's say you want to build a hotel to attract the adventure traveler, right?
Okay.
Um, who is the adventure traveler? Is it, does the adventure traveler include people who are part of the LGBTQ community?
Mhm,
Does that include Black people? Does that
mhm.
include people who have some type of disabilities but can still participate in adventure travel? Think about all the different people who have the problem that your brand can solve
Mm.
and all the ways in which they could be different. Are they from other parts of the world? And how might you adjust for that? If you say, I'm going to only serve English speakers, right? It's not that you won't welcome people who are from different countries, it's that you just might not choose to have everything translated in different languages.
Another example is family-friendly properties, right? Like, if you were running a family-friendly beach resort, like, you would need to have amenities that were built for children, right? So
Right.
it would be like running a family-friendly resort and not having that. That would be, you would unintentionally be excluding the very people that you were trying to bring in.
Interview a couple of months ago with some people who were thinking about the travel industry. And they asked me to think about a time where I was staying at a hotel where something didn't quite work. And I gave the example, I had to think hard about this one. I gave the example of what's the shower where it's directly above
The waterfall or
the
rain shower or something
waterfowl
like that.
rain shower. The rain shower seems to be a luxury, but as a Black woman who doesn't always want to get my hair wet, it is a nuisance.
Mm, yeah.
Right? Right? So if you're thinking about people who want to thinking about options for different types of customers and you think in advance of who are the types of people that you would serve, you might make different choices
Mhm.
about a rain shower, who that how that works for one group of people and how it might not work for a different group of people.
So we got through our first one, which is really look at your customer personas, who you want to include and who you don't want to include.
The next one is all about focusing on representation. The principle that you need to remember is this: your customers need to see themselves or who they aspire to be reflected in the visual imagery that you put forth. If
Mhm.
they don't see themselves or who they aspire to be, so think about Kamala Harris, and this is now who people aspire to be, or and they see themselves and they see a woman. If they don't see that, then they receive the signal that this isn't for you. So that could be in the photography that you use, that can be in the people who work for your company. People need to see that not only do you want them to be a part of what it is that you're doing, but that you do value them beyond just their wallets and their pockets in terms of who you're going to actually put on your team, who you're going to surround yourself with, the associations that you have. Those send a very clear signal that representation matters and that you are committed to the people that you want to serve.
So many hotels are being built by groups who don't reflect representation, the type of representation that they're then trying to
Right,
show in their marketing, right? So
right.
it trickles down, but it needs to trickle up.
Right. And the more you have a diverse team, the better equipped you'll be to serve a diverse customer group. Once you start to do that, it opens your eyes to a whole new world and way of being and to the needs of others. Having representation will not only help you be more empathetic and think more about how you can serve people, but it will then help you continue to attract them and send the right signals on a regular basis, whether that's throughout your customer experience or whenever it comes to speaking out about important issues that are happening in the world that impacts all of us.
Well, there are ways, and I think we're going to get into that too, of how you can start to do inclusive marketing with the team that you have
Mhm.
as well, right?
Yes, you can. You can. So it's not that you have to like get rid of your entire team right now. Ideally, your team will be representative of the people you serve. If
Mm,
you are not, that doesn't mean that you cannot start serving diverse and niche consumers. The next step in the process is making sure that you focus on being culturally intelligent.
mm,
And that is making sure that you know and understand the people that you are serving and understand them at a deep and have a deep degree of intimacy for them so that you can appropriately cater to their needs and speak to them in an authentic way without it coming off as performative. Hey, look at us, we're serving
mhm,
this group of people because this is the popular thing to do. The brands who get into trouble when it comes to serving diverse and niche consumers and are having to constantly backtrack and apologize and say, oh, we're sorry, we didn't know, we didn't realize that we were making these mistakes. Really, it comes down to a customer intimacy problem. So I lived in Argentina for a while. I spent a lot of time here, and there's all kinds of stuff that I did not know about Argentina. And there were other times where it was kind of flipped, where there were things that people in Argentina knew about me as a foreigner. One time I went into a dietetica, which is like a health food store. There's a small local health food store. And the gentleman who was behind the counter, he's like, "Where are you from?" Which is a question that I received almost all the time
mhm.
while I was there. And I said, "Oh, I'm from the US." And his immediate response is, "We have peanut butter."
That was one of the nicer things he could say, I think.
Right. But he's come to realize from maybe what he's seen or from things that foreigners have come to request often,
Yeah,
myself included, even though most of the time I was requesting almond butter most of the
yeah.
time, but if I did find something, it was peanut butter. But he's like, "We have peanut butter," but that was something that he easily connected as like his cultural understanding of what Americans who are going to be in Argentina would be looking for in a health food store. It can just be as simple as paying attention. It can be as involved as doing in-depth market research, but it's really about making sure that you're taking time to truly understand at the core the people that you want to serve, what makes them different, what are the specific needs that they have that would be different, and figuring out how you might need to adjust your marketing. It could be changing a word here or there, it could be changing a photo here and there, and it could be changing some products or a
Mhm.
shower head here and there to make
Yeah.
sure that you have a full understanding of it. But you won't know what to do if you don't take the time to investigate. So a lot of times companies are doing market research, but they're not asking the right questions.
So many great points there. And I guess I'll start from the end, which is asking the right questions
Mhm.
in the hotel space. You go, you visit a hotel, you head home. Usually within 2 days, you have a post departure survey in your
Mhm.
email.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are, 30 questions asking about these minute details of the stay and missing the chance to ask about the feeling, the emotional response,
Yes.
leaving it open ended for somebody to really share their experience and not just check boxes.
Right.
So there's an opportunity right there to really connect with your customer and learn.
Those surveys really drive me crazy because they don't get to the heart of, and I don't take the time to answer them because I feel like they're not actually interested in the true experience.
Yeah.
They're interested in their ratings getting a certain number
Yes.
that contributes to it. So me ranking it gives you no detail on the value of the experience.
How to